What is going on, everybody? We are live. Set the wrong start time for the thing, so we're starting at 1:30 instead of 2:30. So that is 100% on me. But let's jump in to the preview. Of course, they are at Phoenix this week. So what should we do here? You want to do the old starting lineup first, then go to the driver averages. Then we will jump into the Bet MGM odds, which is finally in North Carolina now. So I've got a look at what the North Carolina version is going to look like. But on the pole for the race is James Dennis Allen Hamlin. He qualified in the first spot. Ty Gibbs on the outside pole. Chase Elliott third. Eric Jones is fourth. Legacy Club brought the speed this weekend for sure. And that's three out of your four there are Toyotas. So also interesting. Let's see. William Byron there is fifth. Tyler Reddick is sixth. Noah Gregson carrying the banner for Ford there in seventh. His teammate Chase Briscoe just behind him. Michael McDowell ninth. Carson Josephus there with a 10th place run in qualifying. Then you got Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, Daniel Suarez rounding out the top 15. Then there's Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, John Hunter Nemechek, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daniel Hemrick, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano. For the first time this year, Joey Logano hasn't won qualifying or practice. So Joey Logano there in 23rd. Harrison Burton, 24th. Alex Bowman, 25th. Derek Kraus, 26th. Ryan Preece, 27th. Zane Smith, 28th. Todd Gilliland, 29th. Austin Dillon, 30th. Kyle Busch, 31st. So RCR looking like, at least in qualifying, still haven't got the short track package quite figured out. Kaz Grala in 32nd. Justin Haley, 33rd. Austin Cindric, 34th. Corey LaJoie, 35th. And Josh Berry, dead last in 36th. So that is your starting lineup. Now let's take a look at driver averages since 2021. And your best average finish is going to be a Ryan Blaney at 4.0. Kevin Harvick, swap him out for Josh Berry because Josh Berry's in that car now. But that car has an average finish of 6.2 with Kevin Harvick driving it at least. Joey Logano, 8.5 average finish. William Byron, 9.0. Kyle Larson, 9.7. Denny Hamlin, 9.7. Josh Berry himself, 10.0. So Josh Berry's good here. Didn't have a good qualifying deal going on. And then, of course, Kevin Harvick there with a 6.2. So Josh Berry might be a sleeper there for you. Ross Chastain, 10.5. Kurt Busch, 12.0. Martin Truex Jr., 12.7. And Chase Elliott rounding out your top 10 there at 13.0. Let's go to previous race winners. And, of course, Chase Briscoe, Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Joey Logano are all your past winners since 2021. No repeat winners in that time frame. And then top fives, Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, pretty much the most consistent guy here at Phoenix. So if you're going to bet Ryan Blaney to get a top 10, that'd probably be a pretty good bet. 5 top fives. The next closest guys are Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain with 3 apiece. Then you've got Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., and Chase Briscoe with 2 apiece. Let's go to laps led because that usually gives you a pretty good indicator of who can get the job done as far as winning this deal. 334 laps led go to Joey Logano. 322 go to Ryan Blaney. Kyle Larson at 311. William Byron, 171. Ross Chastain, 158. 144 for Chase Elliott, 137 for Martin Truex Jr., and Chase Briscoe, the only other driver in the hundreds, with 114 laps led. All right, so there are your numbers. Now let's take a look at what BetMGM has set, and they've got Christopher Bell as their favorite with 6.0 odds. Denny Hamlin at 6.25 odds. Ryan Blaney at 10.0. Tyler Reddick also 10.0. Kyle Larson is next on the list at 11.0. William Byron 11.0. Also Ross Chastain at 11.0. Joey Logano 12.0. Chase Elliott 14.0. Martin Truex Jr. 15.0. Ty Gibbs at 21, as well as Eric Jones. So that might be interesting because typically we've seen with Legacy when Eric Jones qualifies well, he usually runs very well. So, and with them having a better relationship with their manufacturer this year than last year, Eric Jones might be another good sleeper there. I've already mentioned previously Josh Berry. Haven't quite seen his odds yet, but he should be up around here somewhere. Kyle Busch at 26, 31 for Chase Briscoe, 31 for Bubba Wallace, 36 for Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher 36, Alex Bowman 61, Noah Gragson 81. So if you want to take the wild card there, Noah Gragson would be another one to take a good wild card pick on, because Stuart Haas is really good here. Daniel Suarez 101. Michael McDowell, John Hunter Nemechek, and Austin Cindric also 101. And then 126 is Carson Hocevar, Josh Berry 251. So there you go. Pretty good wild card pick right there, I think. 251. That's if you want to take a big risk on a wild card. Josh Berry at 251 is a good one. Austin Dillon 301, I should say. 351 for Priest, 351 for LaJoy, 351 Stenhouse. And then thousands and more are Zane Smith, Harrison Burton, Todd Gilliland, Justin Haley, Daniel Hemrick, Kaz Grala, and Derek Kraus. So those are your long shots. Now we got some interesting ones as far as let me pick my race winner, and then we'll get to the head-to-heads and parlays and whatnot. But yeah, who if I'm looking at the numbers, solely the numbers here, who do I think is going to be the guy? And strictly by the numbers, it's going to be some combination of Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, or William Byron if I'm just looking at it like that. But then you got to factor in what Ross Chastain was able to do last season, Trackhouse, really good on short tracks, and of course Ross Chastain winning the last race. So you can't count out Trackhouse, especially when Ross Chastain has an average finish of 10.5 here. But if I'm going strictly by the numbers, I'm going to pick either Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, William Byron, or Joey Logano. And if I'm looking at the overall evidence, the preponderance of evidence of the season, at some point Ford is going to have to break through, and at some point Joey Logano is going to have to break through. I'm going to pick Joey Logano as my winner because he's been the fastest car all season and has nothing to show for it. And as far as my wild card goes, I'm going to pick either that's a tough one. I'm going to pick either Eric Jones or Josh Berry as my wild card, but I'm picking Joey Logano to win the race. But if you're picking by the numbers, Ryan Blaney has the best numbers here. All right, let's see what you guys want to talk about over in the chat. Let's see, and then I'll get to some parlays and stuff if y'all want to look at that stuff. One wise guy, I got to go with Reddick on the poll, so he's going with Reddick. Chase Elliott wins, says Joseph Wooten, so he's going with Chase Elliott. What's up, PC? It's going to be a long season with this short track package. It definitely is for RCR because it looks like they haven't got it figured out just yet, at least in qualifying. We've seen that where qualifying don't necessarily matter, at least for the Fords this season. What's going on with Corey LaJoy in the back? I don't know. He laid down a horrible lap. I did see his. I didn't get a chance to see Josh Berry's lap or if Josh Berry even made a lap, but I did see Corey LaJoy's lap, and it was really bad. Really bad. I'll see. Watching Indy on NBC. Thank God you came on, says William Wagaman. Corey LaJoy is going to win, says John Ray. Hey, he's got good odds, man. He's got good odds. So there you go. Earth 2, he's a stone cold lead pipe lock, I would say. Guess who's back? Back again. BB's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? What's up in between the lanes? Can you recall which drivers have pit penalties the last 3 weeks in a row? Oh, that's a good question. I know Kyle Busch has to be on there. Ross Chastain's had quite a few of them. I don't know if he's had 3 in a row, but he would have to be in there. I'm just going to say Denny Hamlin. Just in general, Denny Hamlin usually gets 1 speeding penalty. I don't know if any of those are accurate, but other than Kyle Busch, I want to say Kyle Busch has got to be on there for sure. So I'd have to put him on there. Toyotas in general, but I don't know. Maybe Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick would have to be on that list, I'd say. Yeah, so I don't know. But let's see. Howdy from the Great White North. I hate the time change to the point of homicide. It needs to stop. Go, Ross, go. So, yes, I don't know. I set this thing, and for whatever reason, it said it was coming on at 2:30. I don't know if that was like a time change thing or something, or if I said it wrong, but it was supposed to come on at 1:30. But when I got here, it was set for 2:30. So I don't know. Something funny happened with it. Howdy from the Great White North. I hate the time change to the point of homicide. It needs to go. Go, Ross, go. What's up, Robin Marks? What's up, Canada? And yeah, Ross has good numbers here, so he is a good pick. 100% for sure. IndyCar at St. Pete. and the NHRA Gator Nationals. I did see a little bit of the Gator Nationals coverage. Tony Stewart has had a good qualifying run or something. Somebody sent to me. So hopefully he gets it done there. Hiya, fellas. Yo, BB, Rowdy Nation all day, says Roofer. Yep. This is typically a good track, I want to say, for Kyle Busch. But he qualified so poorly. I don't know if RCR has their stuff figured out, but at least qualifying-wise, it's not looking hopeful. But it is Kyle Busch. It is Phoenix Raceway. He is typically pretty good here, so we'll have to see what happens. Are they doing a thing like we saw some of the Ford drivers, like in particular Ryan Blaney comes to my mind. He wouldn't qualify well here recently, but his car ran well the first 3 or 4 races of the season. So we'll see. We'll have to see if that's the case for RCR. I hope so. William Wagaman, I got to the IndyCar race as well. So it's in between the lanes. Did you see the picture of the 6 convertible they had at the track? I posted in Discord. I haven't switched on to Discord just yet. I was setting up all this stuff. So I have not checked Discord since last night when we were talking about UFC, I think was the last thing I saw on Discord. I'd like to see Noah do good, says Season the Sprout. And thoughts and prayers to Glock. He's probably going to be fighting one day. He's sunburnt. He was overserved yesterday. And so just thoughts and prayers to him because he's got one more day. He's got one more day in the field. If you want to join the Discord and see the trials and tribulations, the hard work that Glock's putting in to get us firsthand coverage over here at Phoenix, feel free to join that Discord. And like I said, keep Glock in your thoughts and prayers. He overserved himself by accident. Let's see. I'd like to and got sunburned, so that's even worse. I'd like to see Noah do good. Says Season Sprout. Hey, look, Noah's another good one. He's another good one you would have to have as a wild card. I feel like any of your Stewart-Haas drivers are going to be good wild cards here because Stewart-Haas is really good here, and eventually they're going to have to break through. So let's see what happens. Just got the baby laid down and saw the live was up. Not sure how much I've missed, but hey, y'all, what's up, Say Kyle? You haven't missed much. I just went through all the statistics and stuff like that, and so now we're jumping into it. Poll question right now: Denny Hamlin at 6.2, or 6.25 is leading at 39%. Ryan Blaney at 21%. Tyler Reddick at 37%, just tied Denny Hamlin. Actually, so Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick are tied right now. Get your vote in if you want to flip that. And Christopher Bell, 5%. There are some interesting parlays if you guys want to hear them, or head-to-heads, really, that you could turn into a parlay. I'm not a parlay person, but I do like the head-to-heads. What's up, BB and Sunday Crew, says T-Van. What's up, T-Van? It should be a good race. Hopefully the Fords show up today. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised here, Bruce. I think the Fords are going to be really good today. And that's another one. Like if you're voting on which manufacturer will win the race, Ford's at 4.0. They are the long shot, the underdog. So this will be a good day if you're a Penske person or an RFK man to take that gamble if you're into that thing. Hit the like button for entertainment purposes only. Hit that like button or you'll have bad luck. I've got to make coffee. I swear the notification said 2:30. It did say 2:30. I don't know if that was on my end or if it was like a time change thing, but it was supposed to say 1:30. So that's on me. I'm a Ross fan, so I like SVG, but I feel bad. He ain't no rookie. He's pure pro. Sad for number 7. Hopefully I don't know, man. Hopefully Justin Allgaier, we're talking about the Xfinity race, by the way. Hopefully Justin Allgaier can get a championship before he retires because, man, the dude's just got really bad luck. Like, God knows, like he had like a 2.5 second lead and the left rear tire, like Justin Allgaier winning the Xfinity Series championship to me, which he wouldn't have won it with that race, but, he would have been locked in and he would have had better odds because he would have a longer time to prepare for the playoffs or whatever. Him not being able to win the Xfinity Series championship and everybody knowing daggum well he's probably one of the best drivers in there is just like, to me, Dale Earnhardt not being able to win Daytona for so many years. Like Justin Allgaier, an amazing Xfinity Series driver, and not being able to get that championship. But it's frustrating to watch it every year. And then to have him this isn't the first race that he's dominated and something insane happens at the end, whether it be a caution and he gets run over by other guys. Justin Allgaier, really, man, if there's a storm, stand away from him because you know where the lightning's probably going to strike. Sam Mayer would have to be in that boat too. I think Iceberg said that. I think that's where I got the analogy. I think he said that on Twitter. So yeah, yesterday, and he was talking about Sam Mayer. So yeah, Sam Mayer would be another one in that particular deal. Haley Deegan, I'd have to put in there. Haley Deegan minded her business yesterday and get caught up in that wreck as well. Between the three of the front, William Wagaman, I caught the Gator Nationals around 10 a.m. Yo, say Kyle, and what's up? T Van says Roofer. Say Kyle and Mr. Pearson saying what's up to Roofer. What's up, Mr. Pearson? I feel Little Gator. I feel for Little Gator losing that race last night. It was tough. It was tough. William Wagaman, the Gator. He's a Gator. He's a Gator man as well. I like the little Gator emojis there, William. That was pretty cool. T Van saying what's up to Roofer. Get Kyle Busch in that 3 car. I mean, I don't think it'll make any difference what numbers on the side of the car. I don't know. I don't know. It's the 3 number is funny. It's funny as the who we want to drive it and who we don't want to drive it and stuff like that. Me personally, I'm just happy that 3 font is still out there, and I'm happy that the 43 font is still out there because part of my deal is the younger generation might not remember Davey Allison because we don't see that 28 font out there, and I know they feel a certain way about it being run ever again. But man, just to see that 28 font back out there, that would sort of remind people that, hey, there's a guy that used to run this font that's one of the greatest of all time. And that's why I like to see the 43 font, and I like to see the number 3 font run out there, no matter who's driving the car, because it keeps the memory alive of those drivers for younger generations that didn't get to see them. So I'm on the opposite end of that, as a lot of people who want either only an Earnhardt or only a champion to drive that number 3 car. So I have a little bit of a different view on it, but I understand it's a special number to people and understand where they're coming from on it. I'm just the other route because I want those drivers to be remembered, and I think the best way to have those drivers remembered is to have that number out there in that font, no matter who's driving it. So, and my thing is back in the day when you went to go race go-karts and they had the go-karts painted up, you would always run to your favorite driver. So I was never funny about jumping in the 3 car myself. So I don't know why we got so funny about it all of a sudden after that. So it is what it is. I set my fantasy lineup off of practice speed and qualifying speed, and I ended up with all Toyotas. Hopefully it works out, says Say Kyle. According to Vegas, they're high on Toyota here today. They think Toyota's going to do the deal. Glock is our trooper, says one wise guy. Indeed. I had a wild day yesterday. T Van says Roofer. What's up, JFB? Good to see you on here. Aloe Glock. Lots of aloe. Florida Pro Tip says I say Kyle for sure. The aloe takes the sting away and makes it blend into a tan a lot faster than just leaving it be. HMS sucks. Says like getting his HMS sucks in. Antron Brown won the Pet Boys call out last night. Hey, so there you go. Let's see, two wins for Toyota and Xfinity. Yeah, and Chevrolet has won everything else. So that's why Ford's getting the better odds here. So if you think Penske's going to get it done, or Toyota, actually, let me take that back. Let me actually go look at that before I run my trap about it. Nope, Toyota is the favorite here according to BetMGM. At 1.91, Chevrolet at 3.1, and Ford at 4.0. So if you're a Chevrolet or Ford believer, if you think they're going to get it done here at the Desert in Phoenix, today is your day because Toyota is the favorite manufacturer to win this one. And if you're here's one that's interesting. Top Ford car. Ryan Blaney at 3.0, Joey Logano at 3.5, Brad Keselowski 9.0, Chase Briscoe 9.0, Chris Buescher 9.0, Noah Gragson 15.0. I like that Noah Gragson action all day. And Josh Berry's got an even better one, 61.0 for Josh Berry. So if you want to take a wild card, Josh Berry and Noah Gragson as your top finishing Ford. Christopher Bell is your favorite for Toyota at 3.5, 3.4 for Hamlin, 6.5 for Tyler Reddick, 9.0 for Martin Truex Jr. And I like this action right here. Eric Jones, 10.0. We've seen Jones has the good qualifying speed. He usually has the good race. So 10.0 for Eric Jones, 10.0 for Tyler Gibbs. So I like, as far as wild card action goes, top finishing Toyota car, I like those two guys, Eric Jones and Ty Gibbs. And then Chevrolet is going to be Ross Chastain is your favorites for Chevrolet. Kyle Larson is second. They're both tied at 4.0, so I guess they're tied for one. William Byron at 4.5. William Byron's a good pick there. He's actually got the best numbers of the Chevrolet drivers here. Then you got Chase Elliott at 5.5, Kyle Busch at 9.0, Alex Bowman at 17.0. And where's one that might be interesting here? I wouldn't take a risk on any of these other guys. Maybe Suarez at 26.0. The rest of these guys, I don't know about it. I don't know about the rest of these guys here for Chevrolet. All right, and then you got your head-to-heads. You got Ryan Blaney versus Ross Chastain, Noah Gragson versus Josh Berry. That's a tough one. That's a lot tougher in real life than it is on paper. Ty Gibbs and Alex Bowman. I tell you what, I'll make my picks here, and just so we can let's see. Chastain versus Blaney. I'm going to go Chastain there. Gragson versus Berry. I'm going to go with Gragson. Watch me get all these wrong. Gibbs versus Bowman. I'm going Gibbs. Hamlin versus Elliott. I'm going to go Hamlin there. And Bell versus Busch. I'm going to go Christopher Bell. So there we go. There's the head-to-head picks that I made. I circled them. They're locked in. We'll make fun of me later when I get all of them wrong. All right, let's jump back into the chat because I got through everything I wanted to get through. As far as the preview goes, the Fords are coming in the second half of the season, says Roofer. Yeah, I think Ford's going to have a lot of speed. Gina Allison, what's up? Good to see you on here, my friend. Rowdy, not with the greatest qualifying effort, but he is good here. So it's going to be interesting to see what Kyle Busch can do coming from the back. I think he'll be all right. Sam Mayer can't catch a break, says Joseph Wooten. Sam Mayer, worse luck. He's right up there with Allgaier. Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez were in the booth yesterday. Yeah, I thought they both did good. What a fireball last night. Wow. Says William Wagaman. Did Malcolm finish in the middle? Malcolm got caught up on a pit road penalty, I want to say, and that took him out of the mix. What are you talking about, BB? Jamie Little said Justin Allgaier won yesterday. Get with the program. She says say Kyle. Well, I mean, she was 4 laps? She was 4 laps away from being right. Let's see. Jamie Little doing her thing. Stephen Roofer, yo, what's up, Gina Allison? Says Roofer, saying hi from the West Coast. We went to the LA Coliseum this year. We have mixed feelings on that race. Says Hot Rod Shorts. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was really cool the first couple times, and it's just sort of run its course as far as people caring about it as much. So I think they just need to change it up. If you're going to do a type of race like that, maybe do it 2 years in one spot, then go somewhere else and do it 2 years over there to sort of keep it fresh for the region. That being said, Steve Phelps said he's going to make sure Southern California has a race, so they'll probably figure out something. Dodger Stadium is the big one, is the big rumor, so we'll have to see what happens. Haley Deegan is always caught up in wrecks. I've never seen a driver with such horrible luck since season sprout. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to this day, I don't know how good or bad Haley Deegan's necessarily going to be because she has a way of just finding her way into wrecks that aren't, and it's not like Danica wrecks, like Danica wrecked herself. Typically, Haley Deegan is running into somebody else's nonsense. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if she can break that streak. You got a law of averages. Eventually, she's got to not be in the wrecks, right? Fox better keep Daniel Suarez. Suarez out of keep him out. He was terrible, says William Wagman. So William Wagman didn't like Suarez as an announcer. The only difference, Kyle, in the 3 would be massive merchandise sales, says say Kyle. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like Kyle Busch asked Dale Jr. if he could drive the 3, and I think Dale Jr. and the Earnhardt family said no. So I think the subject was approached at some point. I'll have to try to find that article or that clip where he was talking about that. Maybe I'll do that for the post race. I'll try to find that for the post race. Gina saying what's up to Roofer. 30th for Frankie Munoz. Yeah, he got some type of pit road penalty. Did you see Parker Kligerman somehow miss getting any damage from the big one? Yeah. So Parker Kligerman on the opposite end of that, he somehow found a way through it. Haley Deegan almost found a way through it, but Ryan Ellis couldn't get checked up fast enough, and the 43 car sort of pushed her through it. So I mean, it is what it is. Accordion effect, right? That's not on Ryan Ellis. I'm just saying Haley Deegan's got bad luck, and Ryan Ellis didn't get checked up as quick as he wanted to. I just want to see the number 3 in victory lane. I don't care who's driving it as long as they're winning. Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, you always want to see your favorite number of a retired driver in victory lane. I would say the same thing for the 88 of Dale Jarrett. I'd love to see that 88 font come back as well. That was always a cool deal. Because that's the thing with those fonts. Like, without that font, that 88 font, and without that 28 font, does anybody even remember Robert Yates Racing? The younger generation probably thinks Yates is just like a horse. They just make engines. They might not even remember that they used to be like a proper race team. So that's what I'm saying. It's a way of passing down sort of the history to a younger generation that they might get curious about it at some point. Rowdy Nation in the house, says Gina. So for sure, this could be the race. Kyle Busch didn't qualify well, but he has been one of the faster cars all season. If it wasn't for pit road issues, he would still be the points leader. So maybe he'll come from the back. Maybe they'll have a clean race as far as the pits go, and we'll have to see. Chevy has to be in panic mode. They know those Fords are coming, says Roofer. I don't know that they're in panic mode, but I think they have the good common sense and the common knowledge that Toyota and Ford both, I think both of them are coming as far as halfway through the season goes. So I would agree that halfway through the season, this is as fast as the Chevrolet is going to be ever. They've got the maximum amount of notes. They've got all these years of experience with this body style. This is as fast as the Camaro is going to be. The Ford and the Toyota, they're only going to get faster and faster. So, yeah, for sure. Halfway through the season, I think even though Chevrolet won, the first 4 races here, I think it's going to be I think the script is going to be flipped. Let's see. Or the first 3 or 4. I don't know. Got to go live short track action at Georgetown, Delaware. I appreciate you, William, for hanging in here. Enjoy Georgetown down there. Rowdy Nation says, Roofer, they threw caution for Haley getting loose. Says I like dislike. Yeah, like that's one thing NASCAR is consistent on. They're inconsistent about cautions for sure. They throw cautions when they shouldn't, and they don't throw cautions when they should. That's just always going to be the way it is. Gina agreeing with one wise guy. I can see Logano and Reddick battling for the win at the finish, says one wise guy. Yeah, that for sure could happen. Why hate against Jamie Little, says Joe Tompkins. I think they're just having fun with her. I don't think anybody hates Jamie Little. We're big Jamie Little supporters over here for sure. Jamie's trying. I still like her. Yeah, and nobody's going to be good at something the first year or two they do it. They're going to get better and better. So it's not hate. I think they're just having some fun. Thank you. Why the hate against Jamie Little? I think he was just having fun. Well, we keep it loose here. So typically stuff like that, it's never quite as serious in my opinion. I think we're just having fun. 29 left at St. Pete. There is no Jamie Little hate here. I will have to say that. 29 left at St. Pete, says one wise guy. Noah showing what he can do. Who knew he would be carrying SHR, says David Griffith. Yeah, so he's put him on. If it wasn't for that wreck in Atlanta, he would be probably top 6 or 7 in points right now, I want to say. So let's see, 29 left at St. Pete. Noah showing what he can do, carrying SHR. Clint Boyer, more annoying as an announcer than Jamie Little, in my opinion, says Jenna Allison. You know what? I like Clint too. So, I don't know. Maybe just none of the announcers really bother me. Maybe that's part of it. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm more, my issue is more with the camera work with Fox than anything else. None of the announcers have really, have been bad in my opinion that they've had in there. So if they could get the camera work where they don't just show the leaders, where they actually show us replays of the wrecks, where they show us the best battle in the field, we're not just focused at the front of the field, which is one thing NBC focuses on the front too. Dale Jr. even said that in the Dale Jr. download. They told him not to look mid-pack and talk about mid-pack, just call the race from where the camera's at. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So that's a problem that actually both of them have. The 88 quality care, where was that here? Quality care paint scheme went so hard. People forget that car went toe-to-toe with the 24 and the 3 in the late 90s. Jarrett was bad fast in the car. Yeah, I agree. And see, now nobody remembers it because we still got the 24 font out there. We've still got the 3 font out there, but we don't have that 88 font. We don't have that 28 font that Davey Allison made famous. But there was also the 28 font that Ricky Rudd made. The other, right? I mean, I get that it's special to the Yates family and to the Allison family, but I'd love to see it run just so a younger generation remembers them. Clint reminds me of Tony Romo announcing, just please be quiet, says Gina. Austin Dillon's buddy, Paul Swan, is moving over to Rowdy's number 8, says in between the lanes. Yeah, so another shakeup over there at RCR, trying to get everything sorted out for Kyle Busch in the pits over there. Because, like I said, if it wasn't for that, he would probably still be leading the points. Jamie has her gaffes here and there, but let's all thank the good Lord that Beth Moen's super annoying voice isn't calling races, says Say Kyle. So there you go. He's not a fan of Beth. I'm not even sure which is that, like the pit road reporter. Yeah, I don't know. I used to eat only bologna sandwiches in school, says MBR. Let's see. I mean, bologna sandwiches are where it's at. Like it's bang for the buck. It's hard to beat. I think Chevy will win the championship this year. Obviously, I'm fond of them. Let's see. I think Chevy will win the championship this year. It could be. They might stack up enough owners points in the early running before Toyota and Ford get going that they can get it done. I love the hat, man. I'm definitely leaning towards Ty Gibbs or SHR wins. So yeah, this is one of my old Kevin Harvick hats. I think Stuart Haas Racing was still running Chevrolets when I got this, but this was the hat that I wore pretty much every day at the factory. So it got a lot of sun, I guess, being thrown on my dash, and it's actually clean because it's been washed. There's still some grease on it, like right there, but it used to be pretty gnarly looking. But it's finally been clean. Jamie is better on pit road than in the booth, says Joseph Wooten. I think Jamie's talented either way. Look, she's had how much time on pit road? So if you give her equal amount of time in the booth, I think it'll even out. Watch Kenny's conversation with Jamie. Quality stuff, says MB. So yeah, check that out. I mean, Kenny Wallace doing a great job here, by the way. If you're not tuning in to Kenny Wallace, at least for his interviews and stuff, you're missing out. Jamie Little should be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, says Roofer. I think she will be actually one day. I think she'll be, because they have a broadcast wing. I think she'll be in there for sure. Why is the talk always not Hyundai, who's pretty big in racing? Look, as far as that goes, NASCAR has said there's two manufacturers that are really close and interested. So Hyundai with the Santa Fe has a truck, and it wouldn't surprise me if Hyundai is the other manufacturer that might be in that mix. So what if you had Honda, Hyundai, and Toyota, and then there was only two American brands in NASCAR? Dude, people's heads would freaking explode. People would be so mad about that, and I would. To me, it's just entertainment. So I would laugh all the way. NASCAR would too, to the bank. It would become a USA versus foreign manufacturer, Pacific manufacturers, I guess you could say. I agree. The booth, even though a lot of those cars, if not the majority, are assembled here in the United States, I agree. The booth and the pit crew is fine. It's camera work. Yeah, same here. Like I just want to see the camera work improve quite a bit. Delmar Kaufman supporting his favorite college basketball team, who shall remain nameless. I didn't mean here, man. Sorry, I just seen a couple of people picking on her on social. I don't understand why, says Joe. Yeah, oh yeah, yes. Like as far as social media goes, somebody's always going to have to nitpick something. So I don't even pay. If you want to see somebody bitch about something, get on Twitter or Reddit. Like somebody's always bitching about something. So yeah, I don't even pay stuff like that any attention anymore. Because somebody's always going to have a bad day and need to take it out on somebody. That's where I feel like most of the complaining comes from. Clint seems redundant with Harvick there now, says MB. At least Harvick keeps him in check. Like he doesn't run over top of people like he was doing last year. The IndyCar paint schemes for St. Pete are weak, says JFB. I did see where Lionel finally released. Looks like they either got the demo or the actual product is there for Kyle Larson for his IndyCar. The combo pack where you got the NASCAR Coke 600 car and the Indy car that he's going to be running in the Indy 500. The 8 looks nice on the track. Nice scheme, says one wise guy. Yeah, got the old the blue and green there going on. What's up, y'all, B? What's up, B? Oh, my God, that's very frustrating. The camera only on HMS in the front. What if your driver is last? They're still racing. We're still watching. It's irritating, says Gina. For sure, like that's my one thing. There are especially when races get stretched out and possibly boring or whatever. There's always a good battle at the back of the pack. My biggest problems with this are at Martinsville and actually here at Phoenix. There is good racing throughout the pack. So when the leader checks out and has a 2-second lead, just go to whoever's having the best race in the middle of the pack until something heats up at the front or something else interesting happens. Paul Swan is not moving over. I know the pit crew has been having issues on pit roads as in between the lanes. Yeah, so I did see there was a shakeup. I just don't know exactly what it is. I didn't look into it. So we'll have to see what happens. The fall of Yates Racing is something that needs to be studied. Did Danny B? I think Danny B's made one on it. If not, maybe it's Brock Beard. One or the other, I feel like, has made one. So I'll have to check that one out. Beth Mowens does college football. Look her up before the race. The only way I don't catch Gator game is if she's calling the game. Super annoying voice. So yeah, every once in a while, somebody just has a voice. I'm sure my voice grates ears to some people. So yeah, every once in a while, there's just that one person that has a voice that you don't necessarily want to listen to. B saying what's up, and say Kyle saying what's up to B. Gina saying I can't wait for KB's number 8 Rebel Bourbon car. That's actually a pretty good looking car. It was last year. I think it'll probably be pretty similar this year. But yeah, for sure that and 3 Chicana, always a good looking paint scheme. I can't wait to get over the luck Justin Allgaier had yesterday. They said he ran over a brake rotor. That's insane. God, like that's so crazy. How bad can your luck be? Like that, it's just crazy. So crazy. Let's see. Peeps heads already be exploding. Gina talking about on Twitter and Reddit. Yeah, people always heads exploding over something over there. NASCAR is wonky now, but I love Rowdy. Yeah, I think Kyle Busch has a chance to do something here. I just don't know if RCR has figured out their short track package. It certainly doesn't look like it with the qualifying effort, but we've seen like from Ryan Blaney this year, you don't necessarily have to qualify well. Sometimes you've got race speed in the car, so we'll have to see if that's the case or if RCR is still just a little bit off on that. I'm waiting for Cadillac to show up out of nowhere with a proposed entry, says Donnie S. Don't hold your breath, Donnie. It's the reason I don't think that'll happen is Cadillac wants to race against Acura and Mercedes. They want to race against high-end brands for this simple reason. If you watch Cadillac get beat by Ford and Honda, brands that are not necessarily considered luxury brands, because Honda has their Acura brand, Ford has Lincoln, so on and so forth, it puts in the brand plate's mind, the people behind the brand, in their mind, it puts the idea that it devalues our brand because we're getting beat by cars that cost less than our cars. Let's just call it like it is, right? So for that reason, I don't think you'll see Cadillac in the Cup Series unless like Mercedes and somebody else got to the Cup Series, which obviously is not going to happen. So that's the reason I don't think we're going to see Cadillac in there. Going to be a great day for the 43, says Delmar. In between the lanes, are there any other motorsports diecast you would get outside of NASCAR? Maybe I've got a Scott Dixon one. I've got some IMSA ones, the number 3 Corvette that Dale Sr. drove. So yeah, there's occasionally I branch out. I've got the you can't see them on camera, but I've got a couple of F1 cars too. I flipping love Harvick, says Gina. Yeah, Harvick's the man. I would love to see some foreign manufacturers for U.S. Versus everyone deal, especially German like BMW. BMW has played with the idea. I don't know how serious they are, but they've talked about it on social media a little bit. That we ever see Porsche or Ferrari or high-end manufacturers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the more the merrier. Like back in the day when NASCAR first started, who was it? Tim Flock ran the Mercedes Gullwing. So like people that are like it should only be American manufactured cars. Like, but if you go to the very beginning of when NASCAR started, you literally could run anything. It just had to be a stock car. Like they didn't care if it was American or not. So I don't know. You can argue it whichever way you want to argue it, but it's traditionally whoever wants to run has been able to run. Now, if you go to the golden era, the 90s and 80s, it was all American manufacturers. If Honda, and Toyota looking to race, we'll have to add drift tracks. Says Brickyard Brickhead. How do we go from 2 exciting tracks straight to the most boring tracks in NASCAR? Says Steve Easy. Well, it's part of the variety. That's the good thing about NASCAR. You have a variety of tracks. People want to see different varieties of tracks. There's a person for each type of track in NASCAR, and that's part of what makes NASCAR special. Well, I don't mean not every race is going to be a banger. Let's just see with this new package, says Donnie S. So that's the other thing. It might not necessarily be the track. You can put some of the emphasis on the package for this too. Rowdy Nation need RCR to step it up with the short track package. I agree. They got to do something. Seriously, random. Do y'all put eggs in your fridge or leave them on the counter? It depends on the eggs. If they're eggs from the supermarket, they've already been refrigerated, so keep them in the fridge. if they're eggs that you got, from a local farm that have never been refrigerated, I think you're safe to leave them out there without refrigerating them. So that's what I've always been told. I get all my eggs from the grocery store. So once they've been refrigerated, I just keep them refrigerated. Bring Buick back, says Roofer. Hey, Buick. Buick would be a great brand to have back. I like the old Regals. That number 84 for Dick Trickle, which was like a Bobby Allison, the Miller car. Like that's one of the best looking cars of all time. The Quaker State car has got to be up there too. Robert Yates Racing was Rainier Racing before it was Robert Yates Racing. I live to see the number 23 back out there, says Joe Tompkins. Steve Easy, I agree, says Gina. Excuse me. I can see GM bringing Buick back before Cadillac. Making an entry, Buick, yes. So there you go. A lot of Buick supporters out there. Like there were a ton of Buick fans. I think just Bobby Allison running a Buick alone helped that quite a bit. And if you remember back in the Busch series, Davey Allison ran a Buick as well. He just unbadged it because he was a Ford man at the time. But Ford gave him the okay to go do that down there. Harry Gant ran a Buick in Busch series as well. The number 7 Mannheim was a Buick sometimes before they all switched over to Luminas. I go a step further, Gina. I have chicken in my freezer, says Roofer. I never knew he ran a Mercedes back in the day. That's awesome. Yeah, look it up. Mercedes Gullwing Tim Flock. It's pretty cool. Let's see. 2 exciting tracks, but they aren't real racing tracks. I'll tell you what. I'll just post the link down here because it's pretty cool. And he ran it actually at Raleigh Speedway, the now defunct, but I think Slap Shoes has visited that one. So yeah. There we go. Just a shade under a decade. I got the link there. There you go. If you want to take a look at the picture, that's the picture right there of Tim Flock in the Mercedes Gullwing, a classic for all the way around. LOL Fiat starts running NASCAR in a new series filled up with the Mini Cooper and Kia hamster cars. Says Donnie S. Hey, look, I'll be for it. Like I'm all about it. I like a hatchback, man. Hatchbacks are fun. Let's see. Stupid Roofer laughing at the chicken joke. Gina is there any difference between Toyota Racing Development and Toyota Gazoo Racing? I know TRD works on the NASCAR side, and NHRA uses Toyota Gazoo Racing. I used to know the story behind this. There is somewhat of a difference, but it's not like it started off as like if I'm remembering it correctly, and I could be remembering it totally wrong, but I want to say Gazoo started off as a bunch of guys that just wanted to make the Toyotas faster, and eventually became a Toyota racing team. But at first, it was sort of like a skunk works behind the scenes deal that Toyota didn't necessarily know about. Nothing is being helpful on the initial Google search here. Yeah, they just talk about the rally team and stuff now. But I want to say it started off as like a just a group of people that wanted to make Toyotas go faster. I got a chicken named Tina. She is a Boris Sid fan. Says Gina. Who was the best paint scheme this weekend? That's a good question. I like the Mobile One. I think who was running that Mobile One scheme? Is it Tyler Reddick? I like Tyler Reddick's scheme. I thought that one was pretty good this week. Thank you regarding the eggs, says Gina. Scott Dixon update. He is 9th currently. I disagree with Steve. Plate racing is not exciting. It's chaotic, yes, but I find the racing is more exciting when it is in the driver's hands, not who wants to ride with manufacturer mates and such, says Charlotte. And that's what I'm saying. Like NASCAR, one of the keys to NASCAR being successful is they have a type of racing and a type of track for everybody. Buick has a rich racing history, says Joe Tompkins. For sure. They were big in IMSA, too. That same Miller paint scheme on a Buick was in IMSA, too. And I want to say there was an IndyCar with it as well. I just can't remember. I'm not as familiar with IndyCar. But I think there was an IndyCar driver that had that paint scheme as well. That Miller paint scheme is iconic, especially on a Buick. Miller and Buick actually, I don't want to say they go together because don't drink and drive, that's bad. But Miller Racing and Buick Racing actually kind of go together. Petty won a championship with a Buick, says Roofer. Did Harry Gant run a Buick in the Skull Bandit? He did in the Busch Series back in the day. The Mannheim Busch Series number 7 sometimes was a Skull Bandit and sometimes was a Buick. I want to say in the 80s he probably ran a Buick too. But that's a little bit. I remember like 90s Harry Gant in the Oldsmobile, but I want to say maybe one of the first Bandit cars was a Buick before they switched over to Oldsmobile. Let's see. Diversity in NASCAR would definitely make the teams step it up for sure. The more manufacturers, the better in racing. And thanks for the link, says Stevie's. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like and it just, you wouldn't have like we got right now where you've got like 13 or 14 Chevrolets, 13 or 14 Fords, and then you got 8 or 9 Toyotas. It would make it more even because then you would only have 4 to 6 of each manufacturer. So I think it would be really cool as far as that goes. Did Buick run an inline 6? So inline 6s, I don't know how far back you want to go, but I know in the 50s, the Hudson Hornet that was like undefeated or whatever that they outlawed, that was an inline 6. I don't know if Buick ever ran the inline 6 in the Cup Series. I know they ran a 90-degree V6 in the Busch Series that was based on the Buick 3.8 V6. So I know they did run that one. Alex Blow, J.R. Todd deliver for DHL during the week before heading to the track for the weekend. Bring on a 4-cylinder hot hatch oval series, call it hatch car. Hey, there you go. I like the way you're thinking there, Charlotte. Hatch cars, that's where it's at. It was a straight 8-cylinder, says William Wagaman. Newgarden running away with a 5.0 gap and growing. All SUVs are just lifted hatchbacks, says Gina Allison. Hey, I'm on board with that, Gina. You're thinking like me. I said that for the longest time. I was like, you're just driving a jacked up station wagon. When people started getting into SUVs and stuff, which SUVs are good for utility, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's just a raised up station wagon, is it not? And I like station wagons. That's not like a negative. One of my favorite cars ever made is the Cadillac CTS station wagon. That thing ripped, man. That was a fast car. Mercedes has a good one, an AMG version that rips too. And I want to say I like Audi. Their stuff breaks down too much, but they've made some station wagons that absolutely rip too. I'm not going to say it breaks down a lot, but when it breaks down, it's really expensive to fix. That's what I meant to say. If you German maintenance, if you stay on top of your maintenance on your German car, it'll run for a really long time. Whereas Japanese engineering, they know you're not going to stay on top of your maintenance, so they engineer it because like you're never going to do maintenance on it. It's just a different approach. Because the Germans are like, why would you spend all this money and not do the proper maintenance? Japanese are like, yeah, we know we know you're not going to do the maintenance, so we're going to engineer it to that. Newgarden still in the lead. That's what I said. I'm glad BB came on the air, says William. Reddick has Mobile One. So Reddick is the car I'm thinking of. Appreciate you there in between the lanes. Yes, I'm all for the NASCAR Hatch Series, says Donnie S. Basically, that's what they run in Mexico. The Mexico Series, it basically looks like a hatchback series. So if you watch NASCAR Mexico, it pretty much looks like that. Charlotte, I'm not a huge racing fan. I usually hit Martinsville, Richmond, and Loudon every year, but I'm also personally not a fan of Phoenix or Vegas, but each their own. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like each race fan has their favorite track. I love old plate racing. One person's junk is another person's treasure, is it not? I love old plate racing, where most of the race in packs had about 5 or 6 cars handling, and the rest of the type of racing, says Escobar. But instead of the ovals, hatch cars, I should run figure 8s with a jump in the middle. Willpower gets his phones from Verizon. For sure. You know what Toyota TRD stands for, right? It stands for turd, says William Wagaman. I think it stands for Toyota Racing Development. But to each their own with their interpretation of it. I welcome all manufacturers, foreign and domestic. Grow the sport, says like this. Like, I'm the same way. As long as my only caveat is if you're racing in the United States, you have to have an assembly plant where you're giving people in the United States a job, which all car manufacturers at this point have an assembly plant somewhere in each country. So the Buick Indy V6 was a monster, says Joe Tompkins, for sure. Oh yeah, so that was based on the. I I feel like that was based on the 3.82, but then they made an overhead cam. I feel like the block was based on the 3.8, the V6, the 90-degree design, I should say. But then they made it, I think, overhead cam for IndyCar. If I'm not, but I might be wrong about that. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, on Drink and Drive, utility pole cost $13,000, says Roofer. And if you get caught, it costs you your license and possibly some jail time. You don't get out of those things anymore around here, at least. Danny Sullivan ran the Miller paint scheme for Penske. Thank you, Brickyard. That's exactly. I knew it was somebody famous, but I couldn't think of it. I was thinking it was Rick Mears for some reason, but I knew it wasn't Rick Mears. I knew it was somebody. Danny Sullivan, for sure. Appreciate you there, Brickyard. Rest in peace, utility pole, says Gina. Roofer, could the private sector install it for $5K? LOL, says Kyle. Hey, there you go. Can you leave the live chat up with the live stream so people can find the links later? Please and thank you. I click on a thing where if you rewatch it, you should be able to see the chat. I do click that as the option. You might not be able to see it on your TV, but I know if you're watching it on your computer or your phone, you should still be able to see the chat on the replay. But I'll look into that. On the future. I usually don't close these out though until I do the next one. Well, I guess I end it, but I leave it up on my screen. So I don't know. I have to look into it. Back when I had a car audio shop, we all had Honda VTEC wagons for the competitions. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah, so they used to make an Accord wagon. You're 100% right. I've forgotten all about that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the Honda Accord used to make a wagon. I had to think hard. I was like, what you're talking about? VTEC threw me off. Yeah, so Honda Accord station wagon. They used to make those too. And yeah, you could put some bump in the trunk. I got you now, Steve. It took me a minute to think about which Honda was a station wagon, but you're absolutely right. Same thing for British Cars. Says Need for Speed. Man, I forgot about the CTS wagon, the one with the CTS V guts put in, like the old Taurus SHO wagon. Shogun wagon that some cobbled together. Says Charlotte. Yeah, so the interesting thing about that particular Taurus SHO, the engine for that was actually made by Yamaha. So that was actually a Yamaha engine, I think a 3.0 in the Ford Taurus that some people shoehorned into the wagon. So definitely pretty cool. Bringing back some old school memories. That's really cool. Hey, my 2013 Lexus GS350 is snappy and will last forever. I will stay on top of my maintenance and the BMW. I had blue chunks, says Gina. So yeah, that reminds me, Lexus actually had a hatchback or station wagon that was hopped up too, if I'm not mistaken. Speedway. Speed is for the speedway, not the highway. Buckle up and be safe. Peace out, says William Wagaman. Drive fast. Speed turns me on, says Gina. I think we're all switched on by speed for sure. That's why we're all racing and NASCAR fans. Steve Easy, DD drag racing. 100%, says Steve. Does anybody know what became of Brandon Brown? He's still trying to find a ride. He hasn't been able to do it yet. Lexus driver Jack Hawksworth is driving the Tricon Garage #1 Toyota Tundra TRD at COTA. That is a cool story. I forgot to mention that. I need to make a video about that one. Good point there. In between lanes, you can see chat replay on TV as well. I know you can get that live chat up there anyway, says Charlotte. So there you go. You can see it on your smart TV as well. But I'll tell you what. I'll try to. I can go back in the description and put the links, so I can pull all the links from today and put them in the description after we're done. So from now on, if you look in the description, we'll have when I remember to do it, because there will be days I forget, I'm sure. We will put the links in there at least, so we'll at least have a chance to get the links. ARCA race was shortened Friday night during lightning in the area. Poor Brandon Brown, best day of his life, basically ended up being the worst day at the same time. So say, yeah, man, like somebody needs to make a documentary about that and try to get this guy some positive press to get him back on the racetrack, because he was screwed. And the same thing for the reporter. I know a lot of people blame her and say she did it on purpose. Nobody knows her intention, but it ruined her career too. I haven't seen her back on TV after that season. Like, she's still listed as a reporter for NBC, but I haven't seen Kelly Stavis do anything since then either. So it ruined two people's careers because people get so wee-weed up on their politics. Like, who gives a shit who you vote for? I'm just going to tell you to your face. Nobody gives a damn who you vote for. Stop arguing about it in public on the internet, because you're not going to change anybody's mind. You're just frustrating yourself and making yourself mad. I miss the 90s where you didn't talk about religion or politics at the bar. Like, I wish everybody would just go back to that, because nobody cares about your opinion on politics. You're not changing anybody's mind. Just vote for who you're going to vote for, and stop arguing. You're just making yourself angry arguing about politics. I don't talk about politics, but I had to get that off my chest, because the Brandon Brown issue really irks me. The guy won a race, and because he won a race, and it got made into a political thing, he doesn't have a career anymore, and it's so freaking stupid, man, that we got to this point in this country. But it is what it is. Newgarden wins St. Petersburg opener for IndyCar. Congrats to Joseph Newgarden. Yes, the Yamaha engine blew my mind the first time I saw it. I thought they only did small motors, like 2 strokes. Rest easy, Brandon Brown's career, says Steve Easy. He went. You didn't know. The best I could do was 162 in a Corvette. My Mazda was pushing 160. It would blow my girlfriend's hair around. That says Roofer. BB, who's your dark horse for today? I like either Noah Gragson, Josh Berry. One of those two. I feel like is a good dark horse. Late 80s Honda wagons are rad, says Gina. For sure. I forgot all about the Honda wagons until today. Fox's camera crew uses Talladega Night quotes as a filming philosophy. If you ain't first, you're last. My dark horse for today is the 1 car. Yeah, Ross has got to be in that mix for sure. How about Josh Williams? Guy can catch a break. I'm hoping for the best, but it's not looking good so far. Yeah, Josh Williams is a superb talent. Hopefully he can get it going too. Doesn't she do Supercross for NBC? I think she does now. That might be where she's at. I hadn't seen her. I haven't watched any Supercross, so maybe that's why I haven't seen her. Exactly. No politics or religion. Let love rule y'all, says Gina. I can get down with that. I agree with you 100%. Make the documentary on Brandon, BB. Bless us. I honestly have zero sympathy for Kelly. I'm convinced he did that intentionally, but didn't think it would blow up. But everyone knew what says say Kyle. Even if she did it intentionally, like, is it worth enough to like ruin her career over it? Like, I don't know. I believe in forgiveness. But I get what you're saying if you think she did it on purpose. Steve Easy, man, that guy is catching the short end every week, says Charlotte. Stupid is as stupid does, says one wise guy. I agree, BB. I always say the same. No one wants to hear BS political opinions in sports. For sure. But apparently somebody wants to hear them, because there's YouTubers that make lots of money talking about politics. So what do I know? That's my dark horse, Noah. There you go. So Gina's on the Noah train. Lexus, Eric Jones. Eric Jones would be the other dark horse. I knew there was another one I wasn't thinking about. So Eric Jones, Noah Gragson, or Josh Berry. Those are my dark horses there. One wise guy. Let's see. Lexus wasn't a wagon. It was a 5-door IS Sport Cross. Okay, so it just like a hatchbacky looking thing, crossover type deal. Walter Flair, appreciate you there. I just remember seeing one the other day, and I was like, I never knew Lexus made a. I was in a truck, so it looked lower to me, so I thought it was a car. So I appreciate you there, Walter. Let's see. Do you think Toyota will win today? They look strong, says Ken Adams. It's hard to say. Because we've seen where qualifying doesn't necessarily mean anything, at least this season. But I would say if BetMGM has them as the favorite, I would say it's pretty strong that they're gonna do it. Dark horse for me is Eric Jones. Oh, say Kyle, you're on the train. He could probably win in Darlington and make the playoffs too. Says say Kyle, I'm with you. I'm with you on the Darlington deal. He could get it done today too. I'm with you. Whenever Eric Jones qualifies well with Legacy, he typically has a really good run. So I'm with you on the Eric Jones train, and also add Noah and Josh Berry to that. Jones is a strong pick, says Roofer. That Jones boy, good pick. BB future Scott McLaughlin fan. Third at St. Petersburg. So my future favorite driver in IndyCar when Scott Dixon retires finished third today. Where did Dixon end up? If you don't mind. Now we need my dark horse pick, Cindric, to win to complete the Penske sweep for the day, says Matt Hunter. He's going to have a lot of work to do, because I saw Austin Cindric was pretty far back. He's back there with Kyle Busch, if I'm not mistaken. Go listen to Tim Pool if you want politics, says Roofer, or Tim Pool, Vaush. There's a ton of them that do politics. What's that dude? Destiny or somebody like that. Y'all be safe and enjoy the race today, says Steve Easy. Cautions over under 7. I'll go under 7. I'll go under 7. I think we're going to get about 5 or 6 cautions here today. Max, this is typically a caution-free race. Let's see. 8Ball says, happy race day to all of us. Says Gina Dixon, 9th, I believe. So not a bad run for Dixon. Not the greatest, but he did good. He got him a top 10. Would you have an issue if they just did the interview in Victory Lane? I think they should just, yeah, I agree with you. Like dislike the whole that whole thing was brought about because of the restrictions at the time, and now we've never gotten away from it. They just need to do the interviews in Victory Lane like they did back in the day. 100%. Tim Pool cracks me up because the left swears he's far right, and the right swears he's a bleeding heart liberal, which means he's good in the middle barometer. Yeah, they try to place Joe Rogan in the same deal. Joe Rogan has always been like a classic liberal, I guess, and they try to say he's far right now. So it just depends on who you vote for as to how you see people. So I don't know. I don't get into it, but I do enjoy Joe Rogan interviews most of the time. Did you see where the guy that was on the Joe Rogan show actually got arrested because he had somebody's head in his freezer? That was insane. Like there was a dude that was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he got caught. He had just gotten released from prison, and now he's going right back in because he had a head in his freezer. So that was insane. I miss Victory Lane interviews. Me too. Y'all enjoy the race. See you after the chaos. BB, would you still consider doing a History Channel? Says Roofer. Maybe not a pure History Channel, but there might be an alternate channel that's being worked on at some point that would be non-NASCAR, but it would have certain history aspects to it, and that's we'll leave it at that. That'll be a good that's a good cliffhanger to leave on, right? So all right, that's the end of this one. I'll see you after the race. Hope your driver does well, and peace.